This outfit is the perfect outfit for rampaging around like a little monster.
I went on a themed afternoon out the other day. And that theme? Barbie. I sniffed opportunity in the air. The opportunity to make a cool outfit. I had been dying to make a dress and bloomers set out of this gingham fabric that I had thrifted forever ago that was just sitting in my stash. Now I know what you're thinking. Grace, that is red and not pink, and Barbie's whole thing is that she's pink. I hear you. I too am not colorblind. I recognize that this is a red and beige gingham. However, I'm making a dress and an outfit for all of the alt Barbies out there. And no, I don't mean rave Barbie or goth Barbie, though I would like to see those. I'm talking about alt Barbie as in you're over at your friend's house and she says, you can't be the pink one, I'm the pink one, you have to be the blue one. Or, you can't have mega sparkle powers because I have mega sparkle powers, but I think you would do really cool with like super cool freeze powers, which are really better than mega sparkle powers, but just to be clear, I'm the one with mega sparkle powers. We can't both have mega sparkle powers. And so on. This dress is an homage to all the brunette original Barbies that everybody seems to forget exist. This is for the skippers foisted upon us, the Kens we didn't want to play with, the one off-brand doll in your collection. This is for all my second banana Barbies. Just because it's not pink doesn't mean you can't be cute. And I think that this baby doll dress is going to be extra cute. Now, before anything dress-like happens, when you have enough fabric, you make a matching pair of shorts. I used this pattern from 1996, assuming that if I just cut it wide enough at the bottom of the leg, I'd have plenty of room to make them poofy. Well, you'll see. For some reason, the pleats gave me a lot of trouble. This project had a big undercurrent of, I can't tell which side is my right side and which side is my wrong side. So I found myself second guessing and sometimes sewing the wrong things together a lot. If you want to avoid this in your everyday life, mark the crap out of the wrong side so that no matter what, it is impossible to miss it. Speaking of, my dart technique is a bit bonkers, and I just wanted to see if anyone else does this. I usually do darts by pinning the fabric together right on the dart markings, and then shifting those pins to a sort of square outside the dart markings, so the fabric stays in place while I'm sewing, but the pins don't get in my way of my needle. Anyone else? Anybody? This is very sultry and noir. I think I should just go with it. You see, I stormed into town wearing a different shirt than I am right now. The reason? I got pooped on by a bird. I got apricot ice cream out of it, so worth it. Not that the bird poops apricot ice cream. I've been busy. I made some seams. I've got the crotch line sewn. I've always wanted to try a flat-felled seam on the crotch, but I was always worried because you gotta like clip your curves and all that. So I just gave it a go, and I'm really pleased with how this turns out. I am so close to finishing these shorts, which are like the under element of this dress. So I'm gonna keep working. We just got side seams, and I think I'm gonna try a French seam. And then we're gonna do like waistband, that good stuff, and get some elastics in the bottom of those legs and see how those turn out. I think this is gonna be so cute. So cute. Just the cutiest. We'll see how these turn out. You ready? opening of these pants made attaching the waistband a little complicated. Instead of finishing the pockets as usual, you keep two sides separate. To do the pants up and undo them, you use snaps in the waistband. I moved this opening from the left pocket to the right pocket for southpaw reasons, and had to do the mental math of making that correspond to the front waistband pieces as well. So, there are times when you gotta pivot, and this is one of those times. So originally, my goal with these shorts was to make them super poofy and like kind of like bloomers and have a little cute little elastic around the bottom and scrunch them up short. But as you can see, there's like not much by way of any extraness for floofage. As you can see also, this side is like super long. I've got this side rolled up to roughly the ideal. Might go even a little bit higher. But the name of the game here at this point is pivoting. What is important about these shorts is just that they fit and that they go under the baby doll dress, so I have a cute coordinating summertime shorts. So what I'm going to do, I think, is just cut off a bunch of the excess and then hem them like regular shorts. They're still cute little shorts. All they'll need is a hem. I'm gonna do that off camera because we still have a whole dress to make. I'm using friend of the channel upcycled moon top as the basis of this bodice because I like the length and the loose fit. I did my best to trace each side of the bodice and add seam allowances, but don't look too close. Some of those seam lines may or may not match up. A whim, I cut some long strips for ties and potential accessories, then measured out long strips for the tiers. The top tier was 60 inches by 6 inches. For the second tier, because I didn't have enough fabric to just cut a 90-inch strip, I cut two 60-inch strips and then cut one of them in half for my 90-inch panel. For the third tier, I added some hem allowance and cut two panels, making it 120 inches. First things first, shoulder seams. Yes, I sewed them inside out. No, we're not going to talk about it. Now, I don't know a ton about making clothes from scratch without instructions, but I guessed that the neckline would need some stay stitching to keep all the curves in place. So I did it just in case. I tried pinning in the sleeves, but they weren't working super great. So I decided to baste in an ease stitch and trim the armhole a little. In pure uncertainty, I just started basting in the armhole so I could try it on. We've got everything sort of basted together. The shoulders are like solidly together, but I haven't finished the edges yet. I've gotten the sleeve in and I'm pretty happy with it. I think that just with that little bit of easing and that little bit of trimming to the shoulder, it really adds quite a bit. We're gonna lose another ½ inch or so, maybe an inch, when I do the bias binding. There's going to be a little bit less of it going forward, but it will be less like this. right? So we'll see how much of it is left after I bind it. I'm finding there's a little bit of gapage depending on how I move, which sometimes just happens with square necklines, especially if you're not doing the fancy contour stuff. So what I think I might do to combat that down the line, if that is indeed becoming a problem, is just put a little bit of elastic, snake that through the neckline, and hopefully it'll essentially give it that ease without having to do too much drafting, because it's not my strong suit. We're taking risks here. Overall, not bad. Not perfect, but not bad either. I think I'm good to sew this up, sew the second one up, and take it from there. If there's one tool in my sewing arsenal that is more than meets the eye, it's this one. It's one of my favorite ones, honestly. That's right, it's half a dowel. Maybe a third. This is extremely useful as a loop turner. I make scrunchies with these. I'm gonna see if it'll work for my ties. Oop, hello. I could totally do baton. Ta-da! This thing is dead useful. I use these when I make scrunchies, and it is extremely satisfying when it actually works out. So, let's see if it'll work for ties. I have absolutely no idea. For anyone worried about my cavalier flailing around with a sharp object, I did indeed puncture myself with the dowel. So maybe don't do what I do. Got a lot done yesterday. I'm quite happy with that. There was a slight miscalculation. I spent about 2 hours yesterday trying to make bias tape. Well, it looks like I made too much. Oh, you think that's all of the too much bias tape I made? Hold on. It was a lot of bias tape. Turns out you don't really need more than about a 9-inch square to make 1.5 meters of bias tape. So what should I do with this? Tell me in the comments, because I am stumped. This is a very specific bias tape, and I don't have a ton of this fabric left. I maybe for like one teeny tiny crop top or something. But let me know, because this is so very much, and I spent a stupid amount of time off camera making it because I make bias tape maybe once yearly. Because making your own bias tape, while easy, requires a certain level of understanding geometry that mystifies me every time, and I have to watch a video. Anywho, we've made some good progress. I got the majority of the bodice done yesterday. All I have to do now is the side seams. I'm gonna attempt to French seam those this time. So, a 1/4 inch sewn wrong sides together. Flip it, do, rip it, and reverse it. A 1/4 inch right sides together. And I'm just gonna have to figure out how that works with... Oh. Okay. I'm doing thinking in real time here. This is the part of sewing that sometimes it's really nice to have instructions, because you know there's like a right way to do things. And meanwhile, while I'm out here just trying whatever, there isn't. So what that means we're gonna have to do is experiment and report back, because but I really want these to have French seams. I'm just very into French seams. They're so pretty. They're so clean. They're so nice. Once the bodice is done, all I have to do is a bajillion miles of gathering and then a bajillion miles of attaching and a bajillion miles of hemming. And the hemming can be done before the gathering, which makes it actually a lot easier, and you can kind of grip it and rip it. What I'm thinking I'll try is French seaming the tiers of the skirt, because I like finding new and creative ways to punish myself for enjoying a craft. Let's see how that works out. I may regret this, but we'll find out. I employed a coward's French seam for the ties, which is a zigzag stitch on top of a French seam, because honestly it was the only half-decent way I could think of dealing with them. Okay, but hello? Hello? Look how cute this is. This is adorable. I'm a genius. Everybody should make their own clothes. All that's really left to do on this is to hem the sleeves, sort of to a here-ish length. I've got it tied up right now, but it's also gonna be cute, super flowy. I can already tell. The ties go down to my ankles when untied, so it'll always have to be tied, but that doesn't mean it has to be tied tight. This dress is going to be dope, fresh, funky, and fly. So chugga chugga choo choo, baby. Steam's ahead. A really pretty waste of my time. Oh shit, my camera's dying. Okay, it took me about an hour to do this tier, and this is the smallest tier. So I'm just gonna run and gun through the rest with a good old zigzag stitch and not worry about French seams. I don't know why I thought gathering and sewing would be short and breezy. It was quite a while. It was gathering and pinning and adjusting as I sewed. And then more gathering and pinning and adjusting as I sewed. But there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And it was time to join my friend Jordan with her all-thrifted Barbie look. This dress was a lot of fun to wear. It was very comfy and easy, but also still felt kind of high femme. I think the overall outfit, even with the platform boots, kind of came off more as toddler who's playing with Barbie than a Barbie specifically. I'm kind of okay with that though. More opportunity to rampage. There were some drawbacks to this outfit. Number one being when I took it off at the end of the day, I genuinely had a moment where I asked myself, am I so pale that I got a sunburn under my clothes? The answer was no. It just turned out that there is so much extra dye in this fabric that it was rubbing off on anything and everything. My underwear, my skin, my sewing machine, my seam ripper, my couch, I think. This bad boy's definitely gonna have to go in the wash a few times before it gets regular everyday use, which I do plan to wear this again. Very comfy, very cute. Another somewhat impractical thing about this was the closure on the shorts. It works fine when it's under a dress, but I can't really wear these out and about because there's still that huge gap where the pockets open up. If you move slightly the wrong way or you shift, there's suddenly a big old hole where pants should be. If you go out in public and that happens, there's gonna be an underpantsening. It's just gonna happen. So I don't know that I would make that pattern again that way. Maybe I'd try to find a way to get a zipper in the side instead, but still very cute, very comfy. Definitely good lounging around the house pants. On a more serious note, I'm aware there's a motion picture sized elephant in the room. This video originally had a different bent, as you could probably guess. I tried to keep it today just about the concept of the dolls and really what this is actually about, making a cute dress for me. While I'm not an influencer, I am a media producer. And I stand with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. They've asked for media producers not to promote struck works, and I think that's really reasonable. I have a broadcast background and I want to support them and be with them in that. As the strike continues, my videos are going to be focused less on fan stuff and cosplays and more on original stuff. That said, I have some excellent things up my teeny tiny sleeves that I'm very excited about. Spooky season is, after all, just around the corner. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you go ahead and give it a like, and if you want to stick around, I highly recommend subscribing. YouTube and I have considered it, and we think you would also enjoy this if you want to keep the party going. Bye, Barbie! Bye, Barbie!